What's up? I'm Guck. This is Guck FM. So the question is, tonight, whatever time you're listening, cannabis, Ireland, should it be legal? What do you think, Leanne? Should it be legal? Cannabis in Ireland.
I don't know about Ireland, but it should be legal in England.
It should be legal in England. Well, as me and my guest there right here, we come from two different parts of the pond. We're bound to have two different of opinion. So me, honestly, I don't think everyone should have access to cannabis. Even if it was legal, everyone shouldn't have access to it. I mean, it's straightforward. It's just like medicine. I mean, if you're a 6-year-old and you've a pain in your ankle, if something's there ready for you to be able to have access to, you're going to try and take it. You're going to try and get it because it's there. It's just like cigarettes. It's just like alcohol. But guess what? Just how cigarettes have been legalized and just how alcohol has been legalized, cannabis, in my opinion, should be legalized and put through all the systems so that minors don't have access to it and that people can have access to it recreationally. Just think about it. In an hour, how many pints would I drink? If I was thirsty? 4 at most. I'd swallow them into me. But in an hour, how many joints would I smoke if I was smoky? 1.
Me, I'd smoke probably 4, 5 joints.
In an hour? Yeah. With me?
You, 1.
1 joint.
Half
a joint
yeah.
Would take me. You know what I mean? And I'm the typical. I'm not the person who could smoke all day every day. Just like I'm not the person who could drink all day every day. I'm the type of person that could. Yeah. But like this, I'm the type of person that comes to the weekend. If I'm having a drink, I'm waiting until 9 o'clock so that I can go out and get pissed at 9 o'clock for home at 5 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't work for people.
I can't drink that.
But you see, with cannabis users, it's completely different, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's completely different. But people have it mixed up with they're trying to say that it's worse than alcohol. Now I know the difference. Like if I drink,
if you just use cannabis by itself, right, then you've got no risk of getting cancer. I actually believe it cures cancer.
But if I drink 4 pints in an hour, that means I could drink another 4 pints in 4 hours. That means in 2 hours I could drink 8 pints. That means in 3 hours I could be fucked with drink, yeah? But see, if I smoke 1 joint in 1 hour, you know what I'm going to have? Just a case of the munchies. Just like everybody else.
Yes, people that have no appetite and they're sick and they've lost their weight. Give them some weekend, give them some munchies and they'll still be eating.
Why are people who literally are basically entrepreneurs, young merchandisers and things like this being sent to prison and given fines when they should be looked at as a new source of basically a workforce when you think about it? All these people have these skills, they just don't know how to apply them to modern day life because the choices aren't there for people to use these choices, the things that me and you are growing up with, that we know how to. Let me give an example. I learned to do fractions by how? Drugs. By learning that half a quarter is an 8.
You can't call weed drugs. I don't agree with calling weed drugs.
Well, I grew up in Ireland. Where drugs are drugs. But you see, I also believe that alcohol is a drug.
Weed, the Bible talks about weed when it says my earth yielded seed.
Yeah, but everything is a drug, like when you look at it. It's just they're trying to say that something's a legal drug.
It's a plant. It's like can you say oxygen is a drug because it comes from trees. The trees is a plant.
But there you go, yeah, exactly.
Weed is a plant. It comes from trees. Is dandelion a drug? People drink dandelion and burdock. No, dandelion's an actual weed. People drink weed in their tea. You can't say it's a drug. It's like drinking dandelion and burdock or something.
But from my perspective, it's a drug. You know what I mean? Even tea, to me, coffee is a drug. I'm telling you, all these things. All these things. What do you call it? They're like boosters, things that affect you, that change the way your brain works, they stimulate you. They're stimulants, you know what I mean? Some things stimulate you in a way that is up, some things stimulate you in a way that is down.
Say, oh, you're on the weed, you'll be on the coke and that next. No.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
That's some complete bullshit, and people all over need to know the truth. Like, if you smoke weed, that doesn't mean you're going to go off now and take coke, take heroin. Like, I've never taken heroin in my life. I would not.
My anxiety.
It makes no sense to me to want to take heroin. Like, that's something that you don't want to do, in my opinion. Like, there's lots of people out there who probably would. In my opinion, it's just about choices. Like, choices are easier to other people for different reasons. Like, there's stress, there's fucking trauma, there's all this stuff. But there's all these reasons that all these options can seem easier to use. It's just like, put it like this. If you wanted to lose weight, there's many other options. There's many options. Cocaine is an option. When I was a kid, when I was 15, I started smoking weed because I thought it'd be a good way to lose weight. I swear to God, I thought it would be a good way to lose weight. But in actuality, the good way to lose weight was through smoking weed. I met a lot of friends who encouraged me to do other things. You know what I mean? I connected with a lot of other people from smoking weed, and then we started doing all these other things. All these other things that we started to do started making me healthier, fitter. Because we, to be honest with you, we were running from the guards, running from the police, just doing normal things that, you know, young fellas do. And that's what we did. And that's like, and this whole time you're getting this stigma of weed does this, weed does that. When in actuality, weed never made me take ecstasy. Weed never made me take coke. Weed made me chill the fuck out with my mates, play some computer games, and eat some munchies. It was probably the most relaxed time in my parents' lives and everything. Come back, you know, could I stop being a little bastard? And the whole world should know this. And a lot of people in Ireland are waking up to the fact that cannabis and weed and things like this aren't as big as people have made out. And it's just crazy, like, when you think about it. What do you think? Yeah.
What?
Compares to England to Ireland.
What?
England to Ireland, like, what the difference between England and Ireland, the standards. Like,
Yeah, I think England's more ahead with certain things, like certain people more acceptable.
like what?
Like weed, probably.
Well, there's something I noticed, like, it makes no sense, the whole, as anyone can see, if you pay attention to current events, and people are trying their best to push on the fact and let people know and spread awareness that cannabis isn't as like dangerous as even alcohol, but yet you can go to a pub any day of the week, usually if COVID wasn't around, and get fucking twisted, walk home, and you know what I mean? If you smoke imagine if you went to a pub and instead of drinking, you were smoking a joint. Smoke the joint, and instead of, you know what I mean? Like, half an hour later to an hour.
Yeah.
So the effects would wear off, and it makes no sense that cannabis users get so much stigma when there's literally like politicians and police force and everything driving around Ireland over the limit when it comes to blood toxicology levels on alcohol. To be honest, like, I've seen them myself, and you know what I mean. It's just when it comes down to it, it's just the kind of the way to look at it. You know, I just wanted a good old boys. Asher, he's just going out the road. But you walk up the road smelling of cannabis, and you're not just going up the road. You're fucking your man, Tony Montana. You're taken away, and they're fucking reefing you like crazy. It's mad. It shouldn't happen. Like, it makes no sense. You've seen like weed users get together, artists, musicians, all this. That's not the crime. You know what I mean? That's not the criminal fucking aspect. Just because there's a criminal aspect in everything. And if they actually legalize cannabis in Ireland, never mind just the world, if it is taken over in the world, I think about how much money would go into homeless shelters, things like that. So much money would be taken away from like council sessions for like cannabis users and things like that when it's not necessary, because there's like AA, like Addicts Anonymous. They've had to change that so many times because of the new rules that come out for different things, because it used to be Alcoholics Anonymous, and then it went to Addicts Anonymous because, you know, alcoholics, no sex addicts, no, you know what I mean? It's just addicts. It's just addictive behavior. Someone who's addicted to something will be addicted to something. I've seen this through my whole life. When it comes down to like just watching family members and stuff, you spot it. It's very fucking easy when you grow up as a person like me to spot and notice these things. Like it's not, I don't know if it's psychology or self-preservation, but you learn these things growing up in my life anyways. You learn how to basically self-preserve, and part of that is spotting threats and things like that. And you know what I mean? My whole life you'd see people who were stoners and they're fucking sound, but then there's people who are stoners who are, let's say, dickhead stoners, and then there are people who are fucking, you know what I mean, scumbags who also smoke weed. But these people, it's just like the whole fucking thing with any group of people. Everyone also always thinks that just because there's some particular type of people in the group, that they all must be like that. And that comes down to, when you think about it, it comes into racism, it comes into sexism, it comes into everything. So it's just like you hear now in Ireland, all these people talk about the rights between travellers and things like this. And yes, everyone should have their rights, but there's a majority of people who think that there's a lot of people in the traveller community that are fucking dickheads, and they just don't realise that maybe they just met ones that were dickheads. They don't realise that there's people in every community just trying to get along, just trying to go to school, just trying to live their life. And just because of outside like influences oppression and inside influences oppression, that people are being steered a certain way, and it's fucking everywhere, and it's fucking terrible, to be honest. But like I said, it all comes down to the same wavelength, the same thing. It's like it's basically ignorance and stupidity to one side of another opinion, which goes with, like, put it like this: a long time ago, doctors used to prescribe cigarettes.
They used to prescribe heroin.
You know what I mean? They used to prescribe cigarettes, and when all the wars and all the men were going to war, all the women, you know, what was called a mother's helper was Valium, and this was all prescribed to the women to keep them happy. And you know what I mean? So it's just mad that it should be legal, because it's less harmful when it comes down to it than the majority of the things that's being prescribed to people, and something you can buy every fucking night over the counter. So when it comes down to it, it's crazy that one thing is illegal and the other thing is legal, because you're only putting money in criminals' pockets. Slow no all there, no care. Legalize it, you fools.